Hi, good evening. This is the fourth video in the series of GST, which is a series which I intend to upload related to various real estate related GST implications. And in this fourth video, what we will be discussing is the cross authorization of powers between CGST officers and SGST officers. So we have seen that there CGST, SGST, IGST, UTGST, these are the various taxes, if I can say, which are levied. So who will be administering them? That is one thing. Now, in that particular case, it happens that a SSE cannot be forced to face a state officer, central officer, okay, and for IGST, some third officer. So GST Act has a provision whereby there is only one officer who will be administering all these, whether assessments, audits, orders, appeals. Now, who are they and which are the provisions which govern this particular cross authorization? Also, you should know whether you are governed by state officer or by central officer. So in this respect, this is the fourth video, and we will be discussing the specific provisions. Okay, I have a short note here, which will be also uploaded, which will be given as a link in the YouTube note. So you may download it. But this is the bare section, section 6 of CGST Act. Okay. Now, this section is very clear that the officers appointed under SGST Act or UTGST Act can be the officers, can be proper officer, and proper officer is defined in CGST Act. Okay. Now, this itself makes that, say, your jurisdiction is state. Okay. Now, where do you see which jurisdiction are you in? So you can see your jurisdiction in your GST profile. Okay, we'll discuss that first. First and foremost, taxpayers are distributed between central government and state government officers. Now, this decision was taken in a GST Council meeting, by which tax officers from state will be administering 90% of those SSEs whose turnover is less than 1.5 crore. And 10% of the SSEs whose turnover is less than 1.5 crore goes to central government. Now, these have been randomly selected, and these you can find in your GST portal. If you go to the profile part, you will see whether you are under central jurisdiction or under state jurisdiction. Secondly, taxpayers with annual turnover above 1.5 crore. The distribution is 50-50 between center and state. Okay. Now, this criteria was decided in GST Council meeting, and this is being followed. So, for this, you should be very clear whether your particular GSTN. See, for a company, you might be having a GST registration in each and every state in India or union territory, etc. But you should be very clear in which state are you governed by, state or center. Okay. So for that, in your GST portal, what you can see is under the profile, there is central jurisdiction as well as state jurisdiction. Okay. So these are the ones where if it is a central jurisdiction, that will be shown, or if it is a state jurisdiction, that will be shown. See, actually both are shown, but you have to identify under search taxpayer and search by GSTN. Under search by GSTN, if you put your own GSTN, you get administrative office. And that administrative office, if it is of center, you are under central jurisdiction. If that is of state, then you are under state jurisdiction. The importance is, if under the administrative office, the address is of state, then generally it will be range, division, okay, so, or ward, etc. in case of state. So here, if you are governed by, for example, central government officials, then they are the ones who are going to audit you. They are the ones who may issue you show cause notices. They are the ones to whom you will have to file your appeals with. Okay, so this, and it will be only a central government officer in this case, if, assuming that your jurisdiction is central, who will be doing all your audits. Okay, now within an entity, amongst 20, 30 registrations, you can have some registration. Say in Telangana, you are in state. Say in Punjab, you are in center. Say in Maharashtra, it will be again state. So these can be different. But for that particular registration, if, like for example, if in Maharashtra, you are under a state jurisdiction, then it will only be a state government officer who will be doing your assessment, audit, issuing you show causes. So this is the importance, but that state government officer will also issue you a demand for central GST or even for IGST. Okay. So where does he get that power from? He is a state government officer, but he is raising a demand also of CGST. So that is dealt in Section 6 of CGST Act. Similar section, that is Section 6, also appears in SGST Act, all the 30 SGST Acts. So Section 6, subsection 1 deals with officers appointed under SGST and UTGST can be a proper officer for CGST. Means if your jurisdiction is of state, a state government officer will come and audit you. Okay, the team may audit you. If they see there is some tax demand by their own conclusions, which you should have paid but you have not paid, so the show cause notice come demand will have CGST as well as SGST demand. It is this particular section, section 6 subsection 1, which empowers that state officer to raise a demand also of CGST. Okay. Secondly, in this particular section, the other part that is dealt is that there can also be an order that can be issued. There can be a show cause notice which can be issued. Okay. Also, if an proceeding is initiated by a state officer, then the center officer on the same aspect cannot have a parallel proceeding. This is to safeguard the SSE, and that SSE should be facing only one officer, one audit team. He can't face n number of audit teams. Then it was better off in excise duty, service tax, VAT regime. Okay. So these are the provisions which are parallel in central as well as state GST acts. Okay. Secondly, if there is any rectification, appeal, revision, etc., okay, if an officer under CGST has passed some order, then the same rectification, same appeal cannot lie again before a state government officer. Point net is, if your jurisdiction is center, then a central government officer will audit you, will issue you a show cause, will rectify your order. You will be filing your appeals before the central government officials only. You will be getting appellate authorities orders also from that central government. But that central government officer can also raise the demand of SGST on you. Similarly, if you are falling under a jurisdiction of state, say Madhya Pradesh state, your registration in Madhya Pradesh is falling under Madhya Pradesh state government, okay, for administrative purpose, then it will be the MP state government officials who will be auditing you, issuing you show causes. You will be filing appeals with them. Next is IGST Act. And in IGST Act, see, there are no separate officers under IGST Act. Like we know, state has certain officers which earlier were VAT officers. Today they are all GST officers. Even the names of their buildings from earlier Vikrikar Bhavan are changed to GST Bhavan. Okay. And often we have to tell कि GST Bhavan center का या GST Bhavan state का. Okay. Now IGST Act also has given authorization to officers of state as well as UTGST, and they are the ones who can also raise the demands. Okay. So Section 3 of IGST Act first and foremost appoints central tax officers, means central government officials, to put it plainly, who will be exercising the powers under IGST Act, but also state and UTGST Act of related administration can be by the respected officers. The reason is, if you are falling under state jurisdiction and a state government officer is auditing you, and he feels that on an interstate transaction you have not paid appropriate IGST, that this is the particular section which authorizes him to raise a demand of IGST, though he is a state government officer on you. So with these provisions, you can see that there is a sort of uniformity which has been brought, and there is a unity of command. There will only be one particular office, one particular state official or a center official with whom the SSE will deal. And he does not, that SSC does not have to face again multiple audits, multiple demands, multiple appeals. So GST Act through these provisions, Section 6 of CGST Act, Section 6 of of SGST Act, Section 3 of IGST Act, and Section 4 of IGST Act has taken care that there is adequate cross authorization and there is a unity which has come into the particular demand. Now with this also, at times we see that sometimes some other officials also come for audit or scrutiny, etc. But those things, then you will have to deal with that. Where is your jurisdiction? Those things you can talk to them, and you can get that clarified. But you on your own should be very clear your which registration falls under center, which falls under state. Okay. Thank you very much. This is as of now. In the next, we will start with a detailed discussion on concept of supply. Concept of supply comes from Section 7 of CGST Act. Okay, same section is in SGST Act. So with that and the three schedules, Schedule 1, Schedule 2, Schedule 3. And there are various implications in that. What is services, what is not a service, what without consideration is also a service. So those can be a series of video lectures, but please keep on watching. If there are any improvements that you need, which certainly I need, you can please feel free to point out to me. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.